In the last 60 seconds, while you were deciding whether to watch this video, over 2,000 cyber attacks occurred worldwide. By the time this video ends, tens of thousands of individuals and businesses will have fallen victim to digital assaults they never saw coming. Welcome to the relentless battlefield of cybersecurity, where the front lines are everywhere and nowhere, and the enemy is invisible until it strikes. In this video, we will talk about different types of cyber attacks so you remain aware of them. Number 1. Phishing attacks. Let's start with one of the most prevalent and insidious types of cyber attacks, phishing. Picture this. You receive an email that looks exactly like it's from your bank. The logo is there, the formatting is perfect, and it's asking you to verify your account details due to a security update. Seems legit, right? Wrong. Welcome to the world of phishing. Phishing attacks are digital equivalent of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Cybercriminals disguise themselves as trustworthy entities to trick you into revealing sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, or social security details. But it doesn't stop at emails. These attacks can come through text messages or even voice calls. What makes phishing so dangerous is its reliance on human psychology rather than technical vulnerabilities. It preys on our trust, our fear of missing out, and our desire to be helpful. A well-crafted phishing email can fool even the most tech-savvy individuals. Here is a real-world example that shook the cybersecurity world: the 2016 attack on John Podesta, the campaign chairman for Hillary Clinton's presidential run. A simple phishing email disguised as a security alert from Google led to a massive data breach that had far-reaching consequences. Number 2. Man-in-the-middle attacks. Now, let's move on to an attack similar to having an uninvited guest eavesdrop to your conversation: the man-in-the-middle attack. Imagine you're having a private conversation with a friend in a crowded cafe. Unbeknownst to you, someone at the next table is listening in, occasionally intercepting your friend's messages and replacing them with their own before passing them to you. That's essentially what happens in an MITM attack, but in the digital realm. In an MITM attack, the attacker secretly relays and possibly alters the communication between two parties who believe they are directly communicating with each other. This can happen over public Wi-Fi networks, compromised routers, or through malware on your device. One of the most notorious examples of an MITM attack was the Superfish incident in 2015. Lenovo pre-installed adware on some of its consumer laptops, which acted as a man-in-the-middle, intercepting users' encrypted web traffic to inject ads. This not only annoyed users, but also created a massive security vulnerability that could be exploited by hackers. Protecting yourself from MITM attacks require vigilance and good cybersecurity practices. Always use HTTPS websites, especially when transmitting sensitive information. The S in HTTPS always stands for secure, and it means your data is encrypted. Number 3. DDoS attacks. Next up, we have an attack that's less about stealth and more about brute force: the distributed denial of service attack. In a DDoS attack, the attacker floods a target system, service, or network with an overwhelming amount of traffic from multiple sources. This tsunami of requests overloads the target, causing it to slow down significantly or crash entirely, denying service to legitimate users. In February 2020, Amazon Web Services was the target of the largest DDoS attack in history. The attack reached a peak of 2.3 terabytes per second, almost double the size of any previous attack. While AWS was able to mitigate the attack, it serves as a stark reminder of the potential scale and impact of DDoS attacks. Defending against DDoS attacks can be challenging, especially for smaller organizations. Some strategies include using content delivery networks to distribute traffic, implementing strong firewalls and intrusion detection systems, and having a robust incident response plan. For individuals, keeping your devices secure and updated can prevent them from being hijacked and used as part of a botnet in a DDoS attack. Number 4. SQL injection attacks. Now, Let's examine a type of attack that targets the foundation of many websites and applications: SQL injection. Imagine you have the locked diary, but someone figures out that if they write certain phrases in a specific way, the lock opens itself. That's essentially what an SQL injection attack does to databases. Structured Query Language, or SQL, is the standard language for managing and manipulating databases. In an SQL injection attack, the attacker inserts malicious SQL statements into application queries. If the attack succeeds, it can grant the attacker unauthorized access to view, modify, or delete sensitive data. In some cases, it can even lead to administrative access to the database server. The most infamous SQL injection attacks occurred in 2015 against the British telecommunications company TalkTalk. Attackers exploited a vulnerability in the company's website to access customer data, including names, addresses, phone numbers, and bank account details of nearly 157,000 customers. The breach cost the company £77 million and resulted in a record £400,000 fine from the Information Commissioner's Office. Number 5. Zero-day exploits. Next up, we have one of the most feared types of attacks in the cybersecurity world: zero-day exploits. Think of a zero-day exploit as a secret passage into a fortress that nobody knows about, not even the people who built the fortress. It's a vulnerability in a system or device that has been discovered by attackers before the developers and users know it exists. The term zero-day refers to the fact that system developers have had 0 days to address and patch the vulnerability. This makes these exploits particularly dangerous, as there are typically no defenses against them until they're discovered and patched. A notable example of a zero-day exploit was the Stuxnet worm. Discovered in 2010, this highly sophisticated malware targeted industrial control systems and was believed to have significantly damaged Iran's nuclear program. It exploited multiple zero-day vulnerabilities in Windows systems and Siemens industrial equipment. Protecting against zero-day exploits is challenging, precisely because they're unknown until they're exploited. But remember, vigilance and rapid response are key in the world of zero-day exploits. The faster a vulnerability is discovered and patched, the less damage it can do. Number 6. Ransomware. Next is ransomware. Imagine waking up to find all your digital files, photos, documents, everything, locked away in an unbreakable safe. Then you receive a message: "Pay us, or you'll never see your files again." That's ransomware in a nutshell. Ransomware is a form of harmful software that locks a victim's files through encryption. The attacker then demands a ransom in exchange for unlocking the data. Victims are provided with payment instructions, typically requiring them to pay a fee to receive the decryption key. These demands can vary from a few hundred to several $1,000s, often paid to cybercriminals using cryptocurrency. The WannaCry attack of May 2017 stands as a chilling example of the devastating potential of ransomware. This digital tsunami swept across the globe with terrifying speed, leaving a trail of locked computers and panicked users in its wake. Within just 24 hours, this malicious code had wormed its way into over 200,000 computers across 150 countries, from the United States to Russia, China to Australia. Number 7. Cross-site scripting. Let's move on to a type of attack that turns trusted websites against their users: cross-site scripting, or XSS. In an XSS attack, the attacker injects malicious scripts into content from otherwise trusted websites. When other users visit these compromised websites, their browsers execute the malicious scripts, thinking they're legitimate parts of the website. This can allow the attacker to steal session cookies, redirect users to malicious sites, or perform other malicious actions. A famous example of an XSS attack occurred on Twitter in 2010. A security flaw allowed users to run JavaScript code in other users' browsers when they merely moved their mouse over a malicious tweet. This led to pop-up windows and redirects to pornographic sites, affecting thousands of users, including the White House's official Twitter account. You can prevent XSS attacks by keeping your browser and plugin up to date. Number 8. drive-by download attacks. Our final type of attack for today is one that can infect your device without you even realizing it, the drive-by download attack. Imagine walking down a street, minding your own business, when suddenly you're sprayed with an invisible, odorless substance that makes you sick. You didn't do anything wrong, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's essentially what a drive-by download attack does in the digital world. In this attack, malicious code is downloaded and installed on a user's device without their knowledge or consent. This can happen simply by visiting a compromised website or viewing a malicious ad. The attack exploits vulnerabilities in the user's operating system or software that's out of date. One notable example occurred in 2016 when the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency was hit by a drive-by download attack. The attack infected over 2,000 computers, forcing the agency to open fare gates and allow free rides for 2 days while they addressed the issue. Always be cautious about clicking on links or interacting with content on websites, even ones you trust. XSS attacks can compromise even legitimate sites. Remember, in the world of XSS, even familiar faces or websites might not be what they seem. Stay vigilant, and you'll be better equipped to navigate the treacherous waters of potential XSS attacks. Which of these cyber attacks surprised you the most, and why? Let us know in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.